Giants of the Deep, Part 3, by Averagesaur. We were trapped down here. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. It was torture. Watching a giant creature go by, wondering when one will swallow us whole. It didn't happen. James and I are just sitting here in silence right now. I can tell that James has accepted death. I haven't yet. We have oxygen for another 7 hours. That should be enough time to figure something out. The ecosystem of giant creatures has come alive. Any biologist would be stunned to see all these giant creatures down here. But me and James aren't thinking about that anymore. The sounds down here are unlike anything that I've ever heard. I can't even begin to describe them. However, one sound remains dominant. The humming. I finally managed to get a good look at the humming monster. Like I said, it's 250 feet long, with a body that resembles a whale. It also has the jaws of a shark. It's too hard to describe. It seems to be the alpha predator down here. And now I know for sure that it ate the eel. That same feeling of helplessness washes over me. It has a monstrous appetite. I've seen it eat 4 monsters down here. I don't know if it's even the same creature. I'm terrified. Are me and James destined to be devoured by these things? I'm pulled out of my thoughts to a quicker humming. The humming monster is being pursued by something much larger. The new monster was likely 400 feet in length. How long would this cycle go on? James seemed to be awakened from his trance now. His eyes were wide and panicked. He tried to move the pod, but the pod would not move. I had to think fast. I thought of something. I asked James if we had secondary power. James's eyes lit up at the question, and I took that as a yes. We began frantically looking for the secondary power switch. I found it towards the back of the pod, and I flicked it on. I knew that it would take a few minutes, so I turned back. The humming monster was now being torn apart. Blood seeped into the water as this new monster continued devouring the creature. I was awaiting the power to kick on, and James was once again stuck in some sort of trance, watching the creature be eaten. It was mesmerizing to watch. I was suddenly aware of the power kicking on. The lights were on now. However, the lights seemed to attract the large creature. It seemed to be gorging itself and was now focusing on the lights that were probably far into it. It turned its attention towards us. It began to approach our pod. Me and James were both terrified. The creature probably was more interested in investigating rather than eating us, but that didn't stop us from being terrified. James seemed to finally notice that the power was back on. He came back to life and acted quickly, grabbing the accelerator. The pod roared to life. We zoomed right over the head of the beast and continued blasting past it. The creature was pursuing us now. It seemed to almost be playfully chasing us, but it was still terrifying. We pushed our pod as fast as it could go, and we were rising with good speed. The Leviathan below us was gaining on us. I knew that the creature wouldn't go past its part of the depths, but we had to get up further. Above us, I could see the water changing colors. It was becoming brighter. The creature was beginning to slow down, probably recognizing that it was going higher than where it normally lived. I knew that we could do it. James pushed harder than he had before. Suddenly, the Titan stopped. I screamed in joy. We had made it. We continued to shoot up. Our radio was working now, so we called the Coast Guard. Me and James couldn't believe it. We had seen quite possibly the largest creature on Earth, and we had escaped it. Me and James felt like talking. As we got home, something was brought to my attention. A family called me. They had the diary of a family member from the 1700s. He encountered monsters at sea and wrote it down in his diary. I met up with them to read it. I was astounded, to say the least. I took home the diary and read it. Here are the entries that I found most interesting. The sound of the humming can be heard all around the boat. The crew and I believe these are the vocalizations of some monster. We're all on edge. This creature may be able to swallow the whole boat. Sometimes a large, dark shape can be spotted in the water. The humming seems to follow its shape beneath the waves. I knew this shape. The humming monster, of course. What else could it be? Eager to continue reading, I focused back on the diary. We found the remains of a ship today. It was washed up on the shore of an island, destroyed by the monster. This creature's power scares me. We are now trapped on the island. We were attacked by the Kraken. Many men were dragged into the depths. Soon the Kraken seemed to stop. It swam out to sea before being attacked by the thing that hums. Then the two Leviathans were locked in a battle. I began to turn the boat back towards the island. The island has good food. I hope that a boat comes and sees us here. I don't want to stay here much longer. The boat arrived. We are heading home. The monster has left us alone. I thought back to the old legends of sea monsters. They were true. I knew that now. Now everyone knows that. It's amazing. There are beasts down there. These thoughts have entranced me. I began to set the diary down when I felt a paper beneath it. It was some sort of map. I looked at it. At the right edge of the map, it said, "Here there be dragons." I flashed a smile.